continue on in lesson 5.3. We're still using the addition, also known as elimination method. But what we're doing is now we're saying, what if neither the A values or the B values are opposites of each other? Or are the same? That's the only things we've practiced so far. So we're going to rename one of them today by multiplying to create, we still have the same goal in mind. We need to create opposites. Our goal is always going to be to create opposites when we are using the elimination addition method to solve our system of equations. So go ahead and study that first system of equations we're going to solve. Now, I'm not saying that we can't rename both of them. I mean, if you really want to work that hard, you can. Feel free. You can always rename equations if you want to. But I want to suggest that we only have to rename one of these and save ourselves the work of renaming both of them. So, anybody have a suggestion for us how we could rename and which one? And Cody?
You could rename the second one by -2 or multiply by -2.
We could multiply the second one by -2. What would be the reason to do that? So he says we could take this second one right here and we could multiply both sides by -2. What would happen when we did that, Cody? Why did you
You'd be
make
able
that?
to eliminate your y's when I get a -6, -6y plus 6.
Yeah. So if we do that, we would create a -6y here, which would be the opposite of a positive 6y, right? So we have that choice. What's another choice we have?
Multiplying it by +3.
Multiplying that same equation by a +3 instead. Because what would happen if we multiplied it by a +3 instead of -2?
You would have got 9y plus 6y, and then you would have had 3x plus -3x.
So if I multiply both sides by a +3 instead of a -2, which would eliminate this time? Would we create opposite y's now? Or would we create opposite x's? We would create opposite x's. So we can rename the second equation, it looks like, but I am asking you, what could we do to create opposites for the A values, since that's what I put in the notes. By the way, you can create opposite B values instead. That's your choice. That's your call. So this is the one that would create opposite A values, wouldn't it? If we multiplied the second equation by 3. So I'm going to erase my work up here. I don't want to see, I don't want to mess with that. That's how it started, didn't it? That's how it started. So we're going to take that second equation, and this is where we're going to do our work. We're going to show that we're going to take the second equation and multiply both sides times 3. Now, here's what ends up happening, or starts happening if it hasn't happened to you already. You forget to multiply the other side. Has that happened to anybody yet? You multiply the side that has the x's and the y's on it, and then you forget the other side. Has that happened yet? Well, I'm just going to caution you, it's probably going to start happening. You forget. You're all excited to get the opposites created, and then you forget about the other side, and then the problem isn't working out so well. And that's very possible that that's what happened. You just forgot to multiply the other side. So what's this one's new name?
-3x plus 9 equals 9.
Okay, -3x
Actually,
plus...
no, scratch that, equals 18.
What did you say before?
Equals 9.
Oh, you were adding them instead of multiplying them? Yeah, okay, 18, yeah, we'll go with 18. So, -3x plus 9y equals 18. Now, since this is the one we renamed, we have to add it to the other equation. In this case, it would be the first equation, right? We renamed the second equation, so we have to go back and add it to the other equation, which is the first equation in this case. If you try to add it back to itself, its other name, it's not going to go so well, trust me. So let's get that set up. Let's take that other equation, the 3x plus 6y, the first equation, and line up our newly named second equation underneath it. Add our addition stuff, and we go to work. Okay, go ahead. You know how to do it now, right? gonna happen? Which ones are gonna eliminate?
X's.
The x's. Okay, those eliminate. Seriously, am I really hearing calculators? Are you kidding? Monday morning mush brains. Why not? Let's start out with mushy brains and carry it through the week. You guys do not need calculators for this. Maybe the next quiz will have to be without them. Without a calculator, I get 2. What do you get?
2
Y is equal to 2. Okay, now, it does not matter. It does not matter which equation we use now to solve for x. We can put our y value into whichever equation we like. So go ahead and solve for x now. Pick the equation you like. Well, I think I'll take the first one since it's all positives. I get x equals 0. Can we get the same thing? Is that really that? Can we get that answer? You got it? Is that okay? Can we get 0?
Yes.
Yeah, 0 is a number on the number line, right? It's a location on the coordinate plane. So what's our final answer for this one? Ordered pair 0, 2. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Now, I kind of wish that I had not written what I've written already on this one. Because I really would like you to be trying to think through. You look at those equations. Here's what you need to start doing, because eventually this is what's going to happen. If I give you a quiz over 5-1, over both 5-2 and 5-3 combined, or even this is going to happen even when you take a quiz 5-3. When I give you a quiz over 5-3, you're going to, when you look at a system of equations, you are always going to have to ask yourself this question first. Are there opposites? Are there any opposites? Are the A's opposites or the B's? So that's the first question we ask ourselves here. Are the A's opposites or are the B's opposites? No. Next question we ask ourselves, well, do we have any same A's or same B's? Because then we would just multiply one of the equations by -1. Do we have any same A's or same B's?
No.
No. So now we have to ask ourselves the question, could I just create opposites by renaming only one of them? But trust me, eventually we're going to have to rename both of them. Can I just rename one of them?
Yes.
What do you want to create? Opposite X's or opposite Y's? You want to create opposite A's or opposite B's? Okay, so opposite B's you want to create? Okay. How would we create opposite B's?
Take the second equation times -4.
Okay, why -4?
Because the negatives will cross out as 1 times 4 is 4.
So it looks like what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to create opposite Y's, aren't we? And this is a 1y, a -1y, and this is a -4y. Well, do you want to try and create the opposite of -1, or do you want to try and create the opposite of -4? Yeah, probably the -4. So what is the opposite of -4? 4. So we need this second equation, we need its y values to be a positive 4y. So the thought process we need to have is, what do I have to multiply times -1 that will give me a positive 4? And that is -4, isn't it? So we're going to have to multiply. We're going to have to rename the second equation multiplying by -4, because -4 times -1 will be a positive 4y. And make sure that when you're actually doing the multiplying, that you're taking the time to actually just multiply and not, I'm going to change to add the opposite, which is the same thing you should do, right? Actually do the multiplying. Don't be like, this is what I know I need to get. Make sure you really do. So I changed my second equation to add the opposite, multiply both sides by that -4, and then decide what its new name is. Okay, let's agree on the new name first before we go on. When we agree on the new name for the second equation, this is going to be a really important step in your work today. I think you guys have got the solving for X and Y thing down. It's going to be the renaming step. Make sure you take the time to rename carefully. So, anybody want to disagree with mine? Or do we all agree? -8x plus 4y equals -12. Is that what happens? Okay, so now we don't want to add this back to itself, so we look and see, okay, we were renaming the second equation, so we need to rename, or we need to add it to the first equation. Okay, what should we do with this before we even go to work? Add the opposite. Change it to its add the opposite name, and then line up our newly named second equation and add. Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to guess some of you are already ahead of me. What'd you get for x? -1? +1? Well, it's going to be one or the other. Which one should we go with?
Positive.
+1, yeah. It's +1 because we should end up with, after we add the two equations together, we should end up with a -5x equal to a -5. We'll divide both sides by -5, and we will end up with our x equals a +1. And then we can use either equation. Actually, we have three choices. We have the second equation's new name, so you can use that if you wanted to. Doesn't matter. Which one's the friendliest? Which one do you like? The second one? 2x minus 1y equals 3. I kind of like that one. Plus a -1y equals, what's it equal to again? 3. Thanks. Okay. 2 times 1, and what's our -1y equals 3. So we have 2 plus -1y equals 3. This is a 1 in here, by the way. When we subtract 2 from both sides, we get -1y equals what? Anybody doing this one with me?
1y.
1? Just a 1? Okay, we done?
No.
What do we have to do?
Divide both sides by.
We have to divide both sides by that -1. Question for you. What if instead I said, instead of dividing both sides by -1, let's multiply both sides by -1? Yeah, because what would happen?
Double cost.
Anything times 1 is 1, whereas the times 1 is the numbers you will flip over.
-1 times a -1 is a
1.
+1, and that's what we need, don't we? We need an invisible +1 in front of our variable. So what's our final answer? 1, -1. Now I'm going to tell you that I'm gonna double check the key, but I'm almost 100% certain that you should get integer x values and integer y values on this assignment that you're going to do for tomorrow. So if you don't, I want you to stop and go back, and I want you to say, okay, I've got to figure out how to rename these correctly. Because if it goes wrong, that's where it's probably going to go wrong, in your renaming step, okay? That's a huge important thing we have to make sure that how to do. Any questions?